Welcome, friends, to another edition, or I guess the first edition of Chi Memories, or lack of. This episode will be our very first live event review. Starting off strong with a WWE NXT live event. Back in my day, they used to be called house shows, but they got away from that term, and now they're just called live events. This happened February 1st, 2020, at Orlando Live Events Arena. They said it was in Orlando. If you go by the map, it's in Fern Park, Florida. But the hashtag was NXT Orlando. When they was selling it, it was NXT, a few minute drive down the street from Full Sail. I think it's like 8 miles away. So, a rare show that's not inside Full Sail University. Like I said, down the street a hair. Nothing too crazy. Bigger venue, it's more of a stadium seating. At the Full Sail University, there's no backs to the seats, it's bleachers. I think it holds probably, I think it's like 250 people, I think is what I heard. At live events, it has nice stadium seating, cascading seats with seating on the floor. The attendance wasn't too outrageous. I want to say maybe 150 people, maybe 200, but this wasn't the main NXT stars. This is, with the Florida Loop, they tried to get some ring time in for the up-and-comers, the second and third tier NXT stars, get some ring work in, get them familiar with the audience. Yeah, so I kind of, I liked it better than the NXT TV taping I went to a couple weeks ago. I liked more of the talent. I knew, pretty much everybody from from my past independent experience, because that's pretty much what WWE does anymore, is just scoop up all the indie darlings. Won't let them get wrestle for anybody else, even though they have 250 wrestlers under their umbrella. They'll just sign them all. So you're not wrestling for anywhere. You'll wrestle once a month for us. So leading up to the show, I was debating if I was going to buy my ticket online or not. And I was like, I'll go ahead and just buy it at the window there. And, went up. I was like, all right, let me get one ticket, please. And the guy at the window was like, well, someone actually had an extra ticket and left it behind. So here, just take this one. Oh, very cool. Free show. Great way to start off February. I always get lucky with those free shows, free tickets, discounted tickets. Leave it to wrestling fans to buy more tickets than they need. I've done it before. I think everybody does it. They'll buy 2 tickets expecting someone to go with you, and you just can't find anybody, so you just give the other one away. It's a beautiful thing. So, leading into the matches, we have the first one starting off with Austin Theory taking on Dexter Lumis. These guys are 2 of my favorites out there. Austin Theory, I was able to watch him at a promotion back in Wayne, West Virginia. The promotion was called Black Gate Wrestling. It is only 2 shows deep. They was able to get 2 shows off, and the promoter didn't know what he was doing. But he put on 2 bangers of a show, that's for sure. But he couldn't pay anybody, so Austin Theory is just unlimited potential. I could see him going far within the WWE ranks. It's just, he's awesome. And then you have Dexter Lumis, also known as Sam Shaw. I was able to watch him throughout the Indies. He was down at NWA 70 when I went down there. He was in the tournament for the national championship. He made it to the finals versus Willie Mack. I enjoy the Dexter Lumis character. It's pretty cool. Kind of the serial killer. You knock him down, he'll stand right back up. Sort of Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees sort of vibe. It's pretty neat. And that's pretty much how this match was. He would get knocked down and boom, just get right back up. Knocked down, boom, right back up. And he still sells a little bit, but, like it's just, he just regenerates. Pop right back up. Very awesome back and forth match. Austin Theory is Austin all day. As he screams it pretty much after every move he does. All day, baby. All day. Which, you have to have a gimmick out there, and that's something that someone can scream along with him. So, very awesome match. Austin Theory takes the victory with a TKO. Old Mark Merrill used to use the move. It's put him up on the shoulders, and it's just like a spinning cutter. It's, I guess a good way to explain it. A face buster, a spinning face buster, maybe. So that ended up a good one. Next up, we have Santana Garrett versus Indy Hartwell. Don't know too much about Indy Hartwell, but she looked good in there against Santana, which Santana is, a very legit, seasoned, independent wrestler. So it's good to see her, getting her time to shine in the NXT WWE world. She's another name that I could definitely see, make some waves in the WWE universe. A big advocate for the gay community, gay and lesbian community. I was trying to think of another word that'll come to me after, but the LGBTQ, I believe, is the abbrev for it. Big advocate for that, so it's awesome she's out there, doing her thing. Awesome back and forth match, very solid, a nice flow. That ended with a springboard moonsault on the mat, with Santana Garrett picking up the dub on that one. Then we have Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. 1-2, as everybody was chanting. 1-2, 1-2. Taking on two guys that I've never watched them before. Doing a little research before I was talking about them. They have been on NXT a handful of times. A couple guys of Indian descent. A little hard to pronounce here, but it's Saurav Gurjar and Rinku Singh. Just two monsters. I mean, just absolutely monsters. Both of them over. I think one was like 6'7", and the other one was, 6'8", I believe. Right around that, just two big brutes, long hair, beards, traditional Indian get up, just out there just destroying Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. But after a nice, solid little match, like I said, this is pretty much getting beat up the whole time. is able to pull off a roll-up victory. Even though I don't know which guy got rolled up, but the other one was sitting there in the ring right beside him, so he could have definitely, jumped over and broke up the match, but and I think Oni was the one that rolled him up, but Birch tried to knock him over, but the 3 count already happened, just a second too late, but I mean, it was still a good match overall. They attacked old Lorcan and Birch afterwards, and they were able to get the last laugh in, walking around the ring, taunting the crowd. It's pretty good stuff. I enjoyed it. Those guys kind of reminded me of AOP when they was in NXT. Just 2 big brutes just in there just knocking heads. Then next we have returning Madden taking on Cal Bloom. Dio was on the Raw announced team a couple months ago when he got F5'd by Brock Lesnar through the announce table. That's been back since, and this was his comeback. So absolutely destroyed Cal Bloom. Hit him on like a reverse F5. So how Brock puts him up on the shoulders and kind of floats him over for a DDT. Oh, Dio Madden kind of throws him the other way for like a pancake. So instead of over the head, he throws him instead of throwing him to the left, he throws him to the right and comes down with him. So that was pretty cool. I haven't really, seen a move like that recently. So, and then he got on the mic afterwards, and a few months ago, I had the opportunity to talk about what I love to do, and now I get the opportunity to be about what I love to do. And no one's going to stop me, and if they try, I'm going to leave a stack of dead bodies in the ring. Something along the lines of that. But it's still pretty cool. It's nice, seeing a little bit of passion come from him, and, calling out Brock Lesnar. I don't think he's going to do too much to him, but Dio Madden's a beast, though. I mean, that guy's a monster. It's the first time I've watched him wrestle, so that's pretty cool. Like it's a very quick 1-2 match, and then done. Felt bad for Cal Bloom. Had a fan in the front row. He must have played football because the lady had like a Bloom jersey on, and she actually had like a hand painted sign. Or it was actually on canvas, so it was like a painting. It was a legit painting, and she had it up there just, holding it up for him and all that good stuff, and just boom, 1-2, done. And then afterwards, she was, I sat there in the parking lot for a little bit, letting all the cars go through, and I was kind of just hanging out. I didn't really have anywhere to be, and she was standing there by the front door, so I bet she was waiting to get that painting signed by old Bloom. But it was pretty neat. Next, we have a mixed tag match with Bronson Reed, old thick boy. That's thick with 2 C's, teaming up with Shotzi Blackheart, taking on Cameron Grimes and Rena Gonzalez. I'm not too crazy about mixed tag. Because you really can't have a hot tag. Because you can't keep one person in the corner and have 2 guys tag in and out to keep the person, beat down to get that hot tag. Because as soon as you tag your partner, if the 2 guys are in there and you tag your partner to keep the other person in the corner, here comes the female in. Because, it's only guys can hit guys and girls can hit girls. So It kind of takes away from the tag team part of it. It just, I don't know. Something about, you know, if you're going to do it intergender so the guys and the gals can mix it up and everybody can hit everybody. Bronson Reed, the first time I've really, you know, watched any of his stuff, yeah, it's pretty good. Like I said, he's a big brute as well. Shotzi Blackheart, I don't see the appeal. She was at the last NXT tapings I went to, and she was kind of sloppy and like didn't hit her marks, and I don't know, just something about it didn't click with me. Same way this time around. Like she went for like a head scissors, and like her legs wasn't in the right place, and I don't know if she's getting too fast or if she's nervous or getting adjusted to the D way or what's going on, but I don't know, she's yet. Like I said, they took on old Cameron Grimes, also known as Trevor Lee at Impact, the old North Carolina caveman. I was not a fan of Trevor Lee in Impact, but I always try to give people a new lease when they sign to the E, you know, because usually they tweak their movesets a little bit, and, you know, they tweak their characters, so I always try to give people, you know, a new run to see what's going on, so not too bad so far. I do enjoy his little catchphrase, "Let's get grimy." People are chanting along, so that's pretty funny little thing to hear, everybody chanting, you know. So verdict's still out. You know, he took on, or he had a dark match at the NXT TV taping. Wasn't too bad. So, maybe I'm coming around to him. And then Rena Gonzalez, don't know too much about her. Her and Grimes made a nice team. Like, she was, like, pushing him around, because she's much, you know, she's taller and bigger than Cameron Grimes. So, they made that, you know, he went up for, like, a high five, and she put her hand up, like, a little bit taller so he couldn't reach it, and, you know, when he got in with old Bronson Reed, he was saying how he was thick and stuff, and she, like, hit him in the ribs, and he's like, oh, you know, acting like he got hit and stuff, you know. It's pretty good, a little back and forth. You know, they made a good little team. That finish was Bronson had Cameron up for, like, a world's strongest slam, and Shotzi jumped off Bronson's shoulders, splash, as he was going down with Cameron. So I'm pretty sure it was a double pin. I know Shotzi pinned old Gonzalez. So up next, intermission. Classic intermission. Lasted a few songs. I went out, walked around the lobby, see if anything is happening, because they had like a table set up, because beforehand they had a free meet and greet. They had Bronson Reed and Shotzi Blackheart, old Babatunde, and Santana Garrett was all out there signing autographs. So I figured they might have someone go out during intermission, but it was just a quick couple songs, people, you know, doing their thing, and, you know, they were coming back to the action. So, fresh off of intermission, we have Jackson Riker going one-on-one with Babatunde. Talk about, you know, a tall drink of water. Old Babatunde make old Jackson Riker look like a little kid, standing right next to each other. And Riker's 6'1", and old Babatunde come, you know, standing next to him, 6'9". It just makes him look tiny, and they're both big guys. Jackson Riker, you might know him as Gunner from Impact. Very cool dude. I was able to run into him outside the arena back when I went to Impact show in Cleveland a few years ago. Very cool dude, very down to earth. So I'm glad he's, getting his time to shine in NXT with the Forgotten Sons. Babatunde, apparently he was in the show Vikings. And, like I said, he's just a monster of a man. In-ring work, you can tell he's new. He took on Cameron Grimes at the NXT taping. A little bit sloppy, his footwork's a little bit, but, being a big man, you really can't really expect too much right off the bat, so... but being his size, that's something old Vinny loves, is the big man, so... he'll probably be up in the ranks here pretty soon. That's a cool little match. It lasted longer than I expected, and it ended with old Jackson Riker getting a choke slam. So the 6'1" guy choke slamming the 6'9" is pretty funny to see. But it took me by surprise when he pinned him for the 1-2-3. And afterwards, old Riker hit a little Bret Hart pose, and then hit a little Scott Hall, one hand in front, one hand behind, sort of walking away sort of thing, giving a shout out to the old school. So that's pretty funny to see. I used to do that Scott Hall walk all the time, was walking through in the classes and all that, walking down the hall, just doing the Scott Hall. It's a pretty funny little walk to do. That was a solid little match, especially coming back from intermission, getting everybody back in the action. Next, we have a women's tag match. MJ Jenkins and Jessie Camilla versus Rita Rice and Brianna Brandy. I don't know anything about any of these ladies. MJ Jenkins had like a little singing gimmick. When she came out, the lady the ring announcer started to announce her name, and she kind of cut her off and started singing, doing like a little R&B sort of song. So it was pretty good, and she's a good singer. Rhea Rice, she has like a tiny little girl. I bet, I wouldn't even say she's probably 6 foot or 5 foot to be honest. Dude, she didn't look like it at least anyway. She looked, shorter than that. But I think she was from Brazil because she had like an all yellow sort of ring gear on and stuff. I'm pretty positive that's where they said that she was from. Nothing too crazy, as none of them really grabbed my attention doing anything outrageous outside of, the singing in the beginning, and they hit a few moves. I'd say old MJ was the one that grabbed my attention for the short time, because just a few minutes in the match, old Bianca Belair came out. This, attacked all 4 chicks, hit her finisher on one, clothesline on the other, this and that, just absolutely just destroying these ladies. Got on the mic and she's saying, "No, in a couple weeks' time, I'm going to be your new champion. NXT Portland, I get my shot at Rhea Ripley. I dominated in the Women's Royal Rumble, and I'm going to dominate Rhea." And then, boom, here comes Rhea hitting the ring. "Oh, yeah? Well, you think you're something? Well, let's settle it now." Classic wrestling. Bianca's slowly walking away. "I'll do it on my own time." Rolls out of the ring. And then you get Rhea walking around, giving the high fives and all that good stuff. The classic baby face. So that should be a good match when time comes. I think Rhea will keep it, but we'll see. And it was also nice having a couple of the major stars being at the NXT show. So, being around Orlando, I figured they'd have a few different run-ins of some of the, the elite talent, but, I was happy seeing who I did. Next, we have a cruiserweight match with Angel Garza taking on Arturo Ruas, which Arturo, he's had to be at it for a while, because I remember seeing him at an NXT show in Columbus. He has a, kind of a jiu-jitsu background, wearing the classic pants and the black belt and stuff, and then Angel Garza, former cruiserweight champion, he just lost the title at Worlds Collide. It's a pretty solid, fast-paced match, but I don't know. Arturo was just going 100 miles a minute. It just looked like he had a vendetta out against Angel. Like, he was just on him like there was no tomorrow. And it wasn't, smooth. It was just, very clunky. Like a legit rolling around in the ring. It just looked like he was just going full force, 100%. It's not giving any to-dos about, safety or anything like that. He was just going hard. But it wasn't too bad of a little match. We ended up with Garza hitting his finisher. I think it's clipped wings. I think that was the name of it when I looked it up. It's kind of like he puts him like a hanging DDT, and he falls straight down on his butt, so their head doesn't hit the mat like a regular DDT, but it's kind of like a hanging DDT falling straight down. It's pretty good. It is, like I said, a nice little match, just absolutely just fast pace, no holds barred sort of stuff. Then coming up, we have the main event. Triple threat match. Triple threat tag team match. We have Swerve Scott and Kushida taking on Shane Thorne and Kona Reeves. To a lot of people who give Kona Reeves the walk forward for some reason. I don't think it's too bad. Taking on Mike Kanellis and Tony Nese, which they've been a newly formed tag team. They tried them out at Citrus Springs the night before, so I was pretty pumped to see them show up down here. Swerve Scott, also known as Shane Strickland. I enjoyed his indie work, so I'm glad he's down at NXT. He should be able to make something that's in it for himself, because he's very awesome. I really enjoy what he does. Kushida, Time Splitters with Alex Shelley. He's been out and about here recently, so he should be able to make a little something for himself. Shane Thorne, part of a little tag team. Why can't I think of their name? TM61. But I believe the other guy is not with the company anymore, so he's kind of just doing his own thing. Kona Reeves. When they say whose house, Swerve's house is like Swerve's little moniker. He's like, he's just been here. I've been here 5 years. This is my house. So that's pretty funny little thing. Yeah, so Kona Reeves been around a hot minute. And then Mike Kanellis, also known as Michael Bennett, in Ring of Honor fame. This has kind of been a little bit of a lackluster WWE run, but hopefully he can get back on his feet down at NXT with old Tony Nese, which in his own right, former cruiserweight champion, and he's really good in there. So hopefully they can mesh and have a nice little tag. But this match was solid. It was just nonstop. Old Mike Kanellis jaw jacking to the fans when he wasn't in the ring, and it was solid. I enjoyed it. It's just nonstop action. Everybody coming in and out. It was 1-on-1, so it wasn't like a three-way dance with people tagging in and out. It was just a classic people tagging in other teammates sort of thing. Just rocking and rolling in there. That ended up with Kushida doing a moonsault into an armbar and getting the victory for himself and old Swerve Scott. Afterwards, Kushida walked around the ring. He was taking pictures and, shaking all the hands of all the fans. You can tell he was having a good time. He's happy to be there, so it's awesome seeing him having fun. And, we'll see if they can do anything with him, because usually with, Japanese and Asian performers, they just, outside of Asuka, they's able to give her a solid 500-day title run in NXT, but put her up in the main roster, and they just haven't been able to capitalize. And here lately, it hasn't been too bad with her being tag champions and with old Kairi Sane and all that good stuff. But there for a while, they wasn't giving her any favors. Walking out, I was able to see old Jake Atlas kind of bebopping around back there, waiting for everybody to leave so he can help taking out the ring. He's a newly signed superstar. He made his debut the night before in Citrus Springs, so I was hoping to see him, because I watched him just absolutely tear the house down with Priscilla Kelly at Rise in Chicago back in All Out weekend. But unfortunately, he was just along for the ride. I was trying to get over to him just to talk to him, but there's another security guard that was just like pushing everybody out. So, all right, come on, guys, we gotta go. I was, man, I just want to go over and talk to him for a second. So overall, nice little show. A hydration break here. Overall, nice show. I enjoyed it better than the TV tapings a couple weeks ago. I like seeing the new talent, the up and coming, seeing what's around the corner. Judging by this, there's a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. Once they start to mixing the NXT talent around. So there we have it. That's the first live review. Started off with a bang with NXT. We have a show coming up on the 4th on Tuesday with one of the training schools around here. They're putting on a free show, so that should be pretty interesting to see. Like I said, I dig the indies. I like seeing what's coming up. I like to see the training. I like to see what's coming around the corner. So going to a few of the schools around here has been really cool to actually see people that are 100% getting used to it, and they're just in the training mode, and especially for free shows. I mean, you slap free on that poster and I'll pretty much go watch almost anything wrestling wise. So if you like what you're hearing, like I said, I'm still getting in tune with stuff, so cut me a little slack. I know there's a lot of ums and a lot of breaks, and just give me time to get adjusted again to talking into a mic and all that good stuff. Go give us a follow on Chi Memories at on Twitter, on Instagram, just as at Chi Memories. If you want to follow moi on my personal account, just look up little Big Albowski. That's BIGGALBOWSKI. And that's on Twitter, Instagram, any social media outlet. You can pretty much find Big Albowski. I'm going to try to drop a new podcast every Monday and Friday. So this one you should be hearing on February 5th, Monday, right? Or is it the 4th? Whatever the upcoming Monday, this will be dropping. And then I should have another one coming up on Friday. So next time I'll have the dates written down for that. That's one thing I have learned. I have to have notes in front of me, because this is the second time recording this, because the first time I didn't hit a few things I wanted to hit on. So now I know I need bullet points. So be looking out for some new podcasts coming out. I mean, we have past reviews, we have wrestler stories, we have more live events coming up, we have some travel tips, all sorts of fun stuff coming up. So if you like what you hear, stay tuned, because we have some cool stuff coming. But outside of that, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the cheap seats. Rats off to you.